Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Brahma Miristriparan Takare Banu Shashi Bhumi Sutta Buddha Shah Guru Shah Shukra Shani Rahu Keteva Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om. Well, greetings and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Kev 100. This is your weekly astro video zine hosted by me, yours truly, Cosmic Kev. And this is for the week beginning with Friday, the 6th of May, 2022. Now, looking at the sky today, we would see the moon in the constellation of Gemini. If we looked in the actual constellation of Gemini, that's where we find the moon today. And it's in a lunar mansion known as Punavarsu. So Punavarsu is ruled by Jupiter, and Punavarsu's ruling deity is Aditi. Aditi is the goddess of infinity. One of the symbols for Punavarsu is the quiver, which contains arrows in it. The other symbol is the arrow itself, or the bow, actually, the bow, because we have to raise our arm back and look at what goal we're pursuing, and then release it. And Punavarsu means again, it means to repeat itself. And a lot of people, the repetition in Punavarsu is taking trips, being from a nice area and then, or maybe having a nice home, but then wanting to go someplace and explore and come back to your nice home. Arrows have to be retrieved because they have value. So, you know, you shoot your arrows, but then you try to find them, so you have them again. And this is just an endless thing, and things seem endless, you know, at the beginning of summer too. We feel like there's endless possibilities, and that might be part of the infinity energy of Aditi, so that's why we experience this. Now in Western astrology, we'd say that the moon is in Cancer. It's not in the constellation of Cancer, but the season of Cancer, because the tropics are not based on what actual constellation grahas meaning planets, or grabbers, they grab onto our energy, and they're not really just planets because we have the moon and the sun. So, but moon in Cancer is considered fertile in Western astrology. Today's a good day to plant things. So if if you want to get out in the garden today, tonight, it's a good time for that. Tomorrow morning at 4:50 a.m. the moon goes into Leo in Western astrology, so that's going to be a little bit different. That's going to flavor our weekend with this more, I don't know, rambunctious Leo energy, if we could call it that. Anyhow, other things happening this week. One thing is that we have Jupiter going into Aries on Tuesday. That's a big deal. You know, because Jupiter's in Pisces, and Pisces is its own sign, and Jupiter's been in its own sign in both the sidereal as well as the tropical zodiac. Well, it'll still be in the constellation of Pisces, you know, in the sidereal zodiac. But since in the tropical it's moving into Aries, this implies a lot of new things, new ways of expanding our minds, new ways of travel, new ways of having fun. That's one of the deals. The other thing that's happening this week is we have a Mercury going retrograde, and that happens Tuesday morning at 4:47 a.m. This is a really packed week cosmically, and we're also in a waxing moon period, folks. This is where the moon is growing in energy. So a lot of things that happen this week are going to be pivotal over the next few weeks, so it's worth looking at that. All in all, though, that's the major stuff, and so we're going to hit it up sign by sign, starting with you, Aries. So greetings, Aries, and welcome to your horoscope. Now, since Mars is in Pisces, you know, things are a little bit in the topsy-turvy world, I guess. We're not making decisions right. Let me make sure I see this correctly. Yes, indeed. Yes, it is Pisces, at least in Western astrology. So, you know, and in the end of the month, Mars is going to go into Aries in Western astrology, and that'll probably give a little more oomph or a little more push. maybe a little more conflict. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that. But as for you, Aries, Mars in Pisces is indicative of dancing. It's indicative of swimming. It's indicative of, feet don't fail me now. And it's also your house of loss, your house of karma, the 12th house it's transiting through, active praying. I'd probably say Sufi dancing. Sufi dancing is the ultimate remedy for Aries during this period. You've only heard it here at KozmicKev 100. All right, well, greetings Taurus, and happy birthday, and welcome to your horoscope. So I want to give out some birthday shouts. One is to my friend Rocky, I believe, is having a birthday tomorrow, and then Steve O'Brien on Sunday having a birthday. My friend Tyler Hawkins also on Sunday having a birthday, and all kinds of people, all great people having birthdays this week. Susie Lowing, I believe, on Thursday is having a birthday. I want to give Sue a big shout out as well. If I missed you, it's not because I didn't love you, but because it's just a short show, and I always appreciate your comments and stuff. So Taurus, key phrase I have, being satisfied. Moon starts out in Cancer this week, so that's your third house. That's like neighbors and friends. So for Friday, neighbors and friends. This weekend, probably be a lot of honeydews, This is like the fourth house, so that's staying at home more often. Things for your mother. It is Mother's Day this weekend, right, on the 8th, so you Tauruses do not want to miss Mother's Day, especially if you're a Taurus and you're a mother, too, If you have kids, if your mom's Taurus, oh my goodness, do not forget this weekend. She is going to be, I'm not going to say, well, she'll be heartfully disappointed if you don't remember her. and the good thing is she's going to be delighted and in so much joy if you show some love to your mother this weekend. That's what you really want to do. Just focus on the positive. So we'll talk a little Venus talk. Venus is in Gemini now, kind of like the switch hitter of the zodiac. It's sort of lighthearted fun in, Western astrology is associated with Gemini. Of course, in the sidereal zodiac, it's in actual Taurus. So in that sense, it's like, take your time with love, Don't be caught up in your head or what's out there. In fact, self-love. Venus is the chakra that rules our heart. So you want to really get in your heart this week. And, since it's in the second house for Taurus, I'd say that brings money, that brings good food, that brings, maybe wanting to be a little luxurious on yourself. It could happen. I mean, don't go overboard, get yourself in debt, unless that debt makes you more money. I'm not an expert on these things. Plenty of videos on YouTube, though. Greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. A lot of times when we're going through Sun transiting our 12th house, it's sort of like a dark day of the soul. We're just like, everything is falling apart. We don't know where to go. But here's the one beautiful thing, is that amidst whatever catastrophe or whatever unraveling there is, Venus is in your first house. So you've got love, and you've got loving people in your life, or maybe even a loving pet, if no people, Some people prefer their pets over humans, very common, especially in Anglo-Germanic culture. So it's okay. Getting comfort from a pet is not a bad thing. It's mainly just be in your heart and have that love you need. Okay, yeah, you're right. We have Mercury going retrograde as of Tuesday morning, so that is an effective placement, but I think people make a big deal about it. First of all, let me explain something. When a planet is retrograde, it's actually closer to the Earth. So the issues involving that planet, which happens to be communication, technology, money, being able to be playful, things involving children sometimes, all of this students, if you're a teacher, all of this deals with Mercury. Now the recommendation is do not buy technology when Mercury is retrograde, because you'll end up returning it. And pretty much anything mechanical, it's just advised not to. Sometimes you have to just do things, continue to pay your bills, commute, do whatever you normally do. But I'd say just slow down, be more mindful. The thing about Mercury is that there's never enough information, so we get this restless mind. And Mercury retrograde is an opportunity to go back and review everything you've learned before And so stay in that review mode. Don't get caught up with anything you hear this week on the news or whatever, because let me tell you, folks, things change. We all need, to put our big girl and big boy pants on and just relax and not be reactive. Thank you. And greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. So we're starting out this weekend with Moon in Cancer. And that can uplift your popularity. You might have noticed a shift Wednesday when the Moon went into Cancer, that you felt more like yourself. And I think generally speaking in the Western zodiac, when we have the more yin elements like water and earth, Taurus Sun, Cancer Moon, it's very lovely. And in a sense, like, I would almost recommend celebrate your Mother's Day Friday night instead of Sunday, because the vibe is so much better. It's so much more feminine and calmed down. When it goes into Leo, it's just going to be all these big old expectations and things, and and what do they say about expectations are prophecies of future disappointments? There's something I actually love about that quote. I don't know what it is, but there is something to that. So, those of you who are Cancer, it's like you want your people next to you, and it's a social time when the Sun transits Taurus, so it's going to be pretty social for the next 2.5, 3 weeks. And so be ready to socialize. Venus in the 12th house, you might have some karma with a girlfriend or even someone at the office. You need to keep chill, or you might just be enjoying the ability to sleep in more. I'm not really sure. There's many ways Venus in the 12th house can manifest itself. I'm not going to tell you the scary stories. I'll save that for next week. All right, greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. Let's see what horrible things I can say. No, I'm not going to say anything horrible about you this week. Normally, you're a sweetheart. Really, most people whose sun sign in Leo, especially if you're born before August 16th, you're more than likely a sidereal Cancer in Vedic astrology. And this is one of the reasons I think why so many Leos I know do so many different things so well. Because the Moon, which rules Cancer, is in every sign of the zodiac every month. And so there's this restless mind, there's this hopeless romantic. They say the Moon is always lovesick. So Leo, this still applies to you in a lot of ways. You come from the heart, and you demonstrate a lot of courage, sometimes ostentatious, hey, let's get attention type of thing. It's all right. Ultimately, we're known for how we love. And so Taurus time is where you're known for your career. Like, what are your talents and skills? How are you using them? And I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. It's like Taurus acts for Leo as a beautifier. So do things like gardening, cooking, doing artwork and music. All of that goes really well with the Taurus midheaven. So celebrate that. And, with Uranus conjoining the Sun this week, I'm sure there's going to be lots of surprises with Jupiter going into Leo. Into Aries. I'm sure it's going to bring more good fortune in your life. Yes, indeed, right? Are we here? No, we're here still. Okay. Now, Venus is in Aries. Why did I think that? Okay. Greetings, Virgo.
Do it again.
We'll do that another time. Okay.
Do greetings, Virgo, okay?
Yes. Greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. Certainly, yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, I made a mistake. It's Mercury that's in Gemini. It's Venus is in Aries, so anyhow, every now and then.
Just start at one that we're
Greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. I'd like to just let my viewing audience know that we took a couple takes on this because, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And what do we have this week, folks? We have Mercury Retrograde. And, the thing is about Mercury Retrograde is that there's a shadow period before it goes retrograde. and after it goes direct, because once it reaches that back shadow period, you're actually still influenced by Mercury retrograde. Here's the other thing, like I said before to Gemini, it was like whenever a planet is retrograde, it's actually closer to you. Now, so Mercury retrograde in Gemini, or the constellation of Taurus, actually, it supposedly brings good communication and peaceful speech. The thing is that we're not going to know completely all of what happens technologically or communication-wise until early July in this particular transit. Doesn't mean it'll be direct long before that. It'll go direct in 3.5 weeks. It's the usual Mercury retrograde pattern. So, I mean, for Virgo, it's all about relationships right now. I mean, look at all these planets. They're all on the relationship half of the chart. So you're just trying to negotiate how to work things out. And, yours truly, Virgo rising, I already know that this May is just booked. Every time I turn my head around, people want me to do something different. And so I'm kind of like, okay, I get it now, because this is a side where other people influence you. So just be aware of that, and we will carry on. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. So what we're seeing here is, Venus in Aries, that's your 7th house. It's a great place for Venus. It's pretty much the same thing like I said to Virgo. It's like other people are going to want you to do stuff. Look at all these planets. They're all on the other's side of your chart, probably even more so. And you have a reputation for being sort of easily manipulated by what other people want to do and you conforming to it. I mean, in some ways, that's like the nice guy, nice gal syndrome. It can really play havoc on your personal life, though. That's a warning. And the other thing is that when you're so focused on other people's passions, you miss out on what you're passionate about. Right now, you got to look at what you're passionate about. That's the deal. And then we have, we're going to have Jupiter joining in your 7th house, so better people. So I'd say whether you're female Aries or male Aries or whatever, some other kind of gender thing going down, you're probably going to get the love you want because both Jupiter and Venus are in your 7th house. That's how I interpret that. That's a good sign. Mercury retrograde, well, I mean, it's like if you're a student and you're a Libra, I'd pay really good attention to what you're studying right now and just like hit the books. Stay there, read it forward and backwards, as they say, just like Mercury's going forward and backwards, and that way you show yourself to be a good student. All right. Greetings, Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. So being ruled by Mars, and Mars being in Pisces, it's swimming. Swimming will be your sport. Also, Mars is in the 5th house, so if you have children, pay attention to your children, especially if you have male children, boys right now. For Scorpio, that's going to be a big deal, where they're going, what their future is. And, Pluto's still in Capricorn. That's, that hasn't changed. Don't have to really worry about that. The other thing is that we are heading in this waxing moon cycle, that the moon is going to be full in Scorpio on Sunday when, all this stuff goes down, Sunday night. And you just want to just keep yourself chill as we go into this week. I mean, this Cancer moon this weekend, that looks good. That might invoke a little bit of travel. You seem, happy and healthy about all these things. Being better with your coworkers. Just being nice and kind, little gifts to your coworkers could go a long way because of Venus and Jupiter in your 6th house. So I would recommend that. And, improving your health, exercising, all that stuff. All right. Alrighty. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So, if you're a Sagittarius and you're in a partnership or relationship, this is where communication gets a little bit weird and different because you're like married to Mercury. Mercury's in your 7th house right now, transiting the 7th house. So it's how to get people to agree upon money in a relationship. That is another big thing we see with Mercury in the 7th house, and this is going to be a powerful Mercury because it's going to go retrograde. That means you're going to be dealing with this kind of energy. 7th house also acts like the 10th house a lot of times. We see a lot of career things, contracts, business partners. Your Sagittarius, that's what you want to be watching. But here's the great news. Jupiter goes into your 5th house. I mean, Jupiter is a karaka for the 5th house. That means it's like an activator in Sanskrit. It's going to make your relationship with your children better. Your relationship to your creative projects are going to work better. So that's something reasonable to focus on. And yeah, a lot of things, energy is directed at others, but you're getting a little more introspective too, and you're starting to look at how you want to do things, the way you want to do them, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure you'll get some personal reward. All right. Greetings, Capricorn, and welcome to your horoscope. Now, you're the 10th sign of the zodiac, so you're associated with work, you're associated with business, especially big business, things that are supposedly built to last, but also initiative moves in the worlds of money and business, and mechanics and architecture and the nuts and bolts of how things work. Taurus time is a relatively nice time because it's in the 5th house. Sun's in the 5th house. That's like joy. That's like being in your heart. That's like playing with your kids. It's luckier than usual. So things should be going in a really positive way. We've got a moon in your 7th house tonight, at least, so that's romantic. And it goes into the 8th house over the weekend. I'd say that a lot of things that happen, Capricorn, they're not going to be your plans. They're going to be other people's plans. It's going to be your wife's plan. It's going to be your husband's plan. It's going to be your boyfriend's plan or somebody else, your girlfriend's plan that you'll likely be following, because that's just the way things tend to work when there's an 8th house transit. Your psychic energy can be pretty strong. You got to be careful not to like eat bad food, watch your health during an 8th house transit. That's good. Otherwise, though, you're in a lucky, pretty sweet spot. Things should be nice for you. Greetings, Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. So, here we are with Aquarius. Saturn is in your 1st house now in a really strong way. So, especially those of you who are Aquarians, say born between like the 10th to the 18th of February, you're getting some pretty heavy-duty Saturn hits. And even though you're a Saturn-ruled sign, it's like everyone suffers a little bit under Saturn with either restrictions or embarrassment, sometimes challenges, things that slow you down, things that isolate you, things that can frustrate you in general. So it's just kind of important to remain on the chill vibe. It's interesting that I find that a lot of Aquarians get along really well with Taurus, because it's like they're not really, like they're squared signs to each other. But in Native American Western astrology, they have Aquarius as the otter and Taurus as the beaver. And so they're both kind of these aquatic mammals. And it makes a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of Tauruses make good fathers, and beavers will teach their pups how to swim. And in Aquarius, the otter in Native American astrology is like a very giving form of femininity. That's not jealous and is trying to lift up everybody in the community. How nice is that? So Taurus time is a little more introspect for you. You're dealing with home, you're dealing with mother. Do not forget Mother's Day, Aquarius. All right, that is all. I'm going to just leave it at that. All right, so greetings, Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Pisces. I've seen a lot of change, especially in people born in the later degrees of Pisces, people born between the 14th and the 20th of March. That's where the long Jupiter, the long Neptune transit's been. I mean, there's just been a lot of change, and so now that Jupiter's going into your 2nd house, whatever good work or whatever good growth you've done, there's going to be some material rewards. Frankly, it's going to get better. And Saturn's in the 12th house, place of loss. So in a way, a lot of the limits and a lot of the frustration you've experienced is starting to loosen up. It's almost like Saturn, for Pisces, Saturn is being quarantined until July when it retrogrades back in your first house again. You're like, oh no. Well, generally speaking, if you've done the good things Saturn wants you to do, when that July Capricorn, it'll be an Aquarius and Western, but when Saturn goes retrograde back into sidereal Capricorn, you're going to get rewards. They're going to come to you. Things will manifest in a good way. So you just have to be okay with that. In the meantime, though, you're getting a little bit of a break, and you're able to put to rest the things that aren't working for you, and you're breaking out brand new and things that are good for you. And that, like I said, that Jupiter in the second house will help you economically. Venus being there should help you as well. You want to eat some really good food too, and heal whatever happened to you in grade school, and do the deep work so you can just be free to be yourself. So, wrapping this thing up. It's a week of changes, folks. We've got Mercury going retrograde Monday morning. We have Venus moving through Aries. We have Jupiter moving into Aries on Tuesday. So, all in all, thanks for being here. And please subscribe. Please hit the notification and the like button. And I will be with you next week. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.